Let us begin this glorious revelation with a truth that may at first appear far too bold to the logical mind. You already possess everything you could ever desire. The money you wish for, the millions you long to call your own, the extravagant life that seems to lie just beyond the reach of your fingertips. These are not distant dreams. They are in truth reflections of the state you have yet to fully accept as real. You do not manifest millions by effort alone, by toiling and striving and hoping. You manifest them by feeling, by assumption, by living in the end, by acting as if you already won millions. To act as if is not pretending. It is not some shallow game of make-believe. No. It is the sacred art of assuming the wish fulfilled. It is stepping into the consciousness of the man or woman who has already received their desire and allowing that inner state to dictate every thought, every movement, every breath. To be conscious of being rich, as I have said many times, is to be rich. You are not here to beg life for your desires. You are here to assume your rightful inheritance. The kingdom is within you. Let us consider what it truly means to win millions. Does it mean the number in your bank account shifts? Yes, in form. But in essence, to win millions means you now move through life as one who is financially free, infinitely abundant, and completely at ease with the flow of prosperity. That version of you does not worry, does not doubt, does not ask whether it is possible. That version knows, and it is that knowing, quiet, powerful, unshakable, that creates worlds. You are not manifesting money, you are manifesting a state of consciousness. Money follows states. The outer world is dead, powerless, and entirely subject to the life you breathe into it through imagination. The moment you assume the state of wealth, the outer world rearranges itself to mirror your assumption. That is the law. It is impersonal and unfailing. It does not ask whether you are worthy, whether you have worked hard enough, or whether you come from wealth. It simply reflects the truth you hold within. Now imagine you open your bank app and see $10 million. Not a fantasy, not a distant goal. Now, what would change in your feelings? Your posture, the way you speak, dress, walk, breathe? Would you still complain about minor expenses? Would you fear the future? Would you hesitate to be generous, to invest in yourself, to speak your truth? No. You would relax. You would expand. You would step into the divine authority of one who knows the universe is their supplier. That is the self you must embody now, not when the money comes, but before. Here is the great secret so many overlook. You do not wait for the money to feel wealthy. You feel wealthy, and the money appears. Consciousness is the only reality. The world you see is but the shadow of your inner state. If you see poverty outside, it is because there is poverty within. If you see overflow, joy, freedom, it is because that is what you have dared to claim in imagination. So what must you do? You must close your eyes and dare to imagine what you would see were your wish already fulfilled. Do not merely visualize it, feel it. Feel the satisfaction. Feel the pride. Feel the lightness of no longer worrying about money. Imagine the phone call you would make to someone you love. It happened. I won millions. Hear their reaction. Hear your own voice filled with certainty and peace, and dwell there. Stay in that feeling until it becomes more real than your current surroundings. This is not delusion. This is creation. This is how the law works. I once knew a man who lived as though he were already a millionaire. He had nothing in his outer world to suggest it. He wore ordinary clothes, drove an old car, and rented a modest apartment. But his inner world was saturated with the feeling of wealth. He walked with elegance, he tipped generously, and he gave thanks daily for the millions that had already come, even though no such money had arrived. And do you know what happened? Within 1 year he received an inheritance he had not expected. A forgotten investment matured. A friend he once helped offered him a share in a growing company. One by one, the bridges of incidents formed, and his state externalized itself. Was it luck? No, it was law. If you act as if you already won millions, the world must conform. You are not forcing anything into being. You are aligning yourself with the version of reality where it already is. There are infinite versions of you existing in infinite realities. You, the poor man. You, the man with $5 million, you, the woman with $50 million. All of them are real. All are possibilities within the quantum field of creation. But you only experience the one you consistently occupy in imagination. So which one will you choose? The choice is not made with effort, it is made with feeling. Be still and know that I am God. In stillness, you select your state. In stillness you claim, I am wealthy. And you do not beg. You do not plead. You assume with finality and faith. You saturate your being with the feeling that it is already done. And then you let the law do its perfect work. There is no need to worry how it will happen. You do not concern yourself with the how. That is not your job. Your only responsibility is to assume the state and persist in it. Do not break the spell with doubt. Do not uproot the seed before it has bloomed. Simply act as if, and keep acting. Go into stores and look at items with the eyes of someone who can afford them. Speak to people with the calm assurance of one who holds millions in the bank. Smile more. Worry less. Be generous, even if you only have a little. That generosity confirms to your subconscious that you already have more than enough. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts whatever you feed it with feeling. The man who has won millions does not chase money. He magnetizes it. He does not act out of desperation. He acts out of clarity, ease and power. He is not impressed by riches, for he is the source of them. That is you. That is the you waiting to be embodied. You do not need more effort, you need more alignment. You must fall in love with your future as if it were your present. You must dine with your desire. You must wrap yourself in the cloak of certainty and wear it daily. You must move as the one who has already arrived. But Neville, you may ask, what if I try and nothing happens? Then I say you have not truly assumed the state. You are still holding on to appearances. You are peeking outside to see if the world has changed. But the world changes only after you change. And that change begins not in action but in imagination. Imagination is the only redemptive power. It is your divine tool. It is your workshop of reality. You are not here to suffer under circumstances, you are here to create them. Your circumstances are but frozen thoughts, projections of past beliefs. But today you can choose anew. You can say, I am the one who has already won millions. I live from that state. I speak from that state. I act from that state. I sleep and wake in that state. And when doubt comes, as it will, you do not argue with it. You simply return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You let imagination lift you up once more, into the atmosphere of wealth. What happens next is none of your concern. The bridges will form, people will appear, opportunities will arise. But these are mere echoes of your inner world. They are side effects, not the source. The source is you. And what a glorious source you are. You are not small. You are not limited. You are not lacking. You are a divine being, endowed with the power to assume any state and give it life. If you want to be a millionaire, then be one. In feeling, in imagination, in conviction. And the world will not resist you. It will reflect you. So go ahead. Act as if you already won millions. Not with arrogance, but with grace. Not with pride, but with quiet knowing. Not with fantasy, but with faith. Let your life become a living prayer of abundance. Let your every breath say, thank you, it is done. Let your every step confirm your new identity. And soon, very soon, the outer world will catch up. You will receive unexpected checks. You will meet people who open doors. You will be led to opportunities that feel like miracles, but they are not miracles. They are law. They are the natural result of a changed state. There is no power outside of you. Nothing outside is holding you back. The only question is, will you persist in the assumption that you already are what you desire to be? You do not get what you want. You get what you are conscious of being. So be rich. Now, not tomorrow. Not when the money comes. Now, act as if you already won millions. And the world will echo back, yes, you have. You must not let the outer senses fool you. What you see with your eyes, hear with your ears, feel with your hands. These are all echoes of past assumptions. They are the fruit of former states, and they have no authority over the future you are creating now. If you wait to see the millions before you feel like a millionaire, you will remain in the waiting room of life. But if you feel now, if you claim now, if you walk now in the consciousness of wealth, then wealth must appear. not as a gift from fate, but as a mirror reflection of your state of being. When you awaken each morning, remind yourself, I am already wealthy. Before you speak a word to the world, speak within the temple of your mind. I have already won. Carry that vibration with you into every room, every encounter, every silence. Do not let the temporary fluctuations of circumstance disturb the permanent truth of your assumption. Circumstances will bend. They must bend. But your inner conviction must remain unbending. Understand this clearly. No one and nothing can stop the manifestation of a state once it is fully assumed. The law is perfect. It is not subject to delay, error, or injustice. If what you want has not shown up, do not look to the world for answers. Look within. Ask, am I truly dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, or am I bouncing between hope and doubt? For only in full assumption does manifestation become inevitable. Begin now to notice the subtle shifts that occur when you act from wealth. You will speak less of lack. You will no longer complain about prices. You will no longer feel tension around bills or expenses. Why? Because the wealthy man is not disturbed by these things. He moves in confidence. He makes decisions from clarity, not fear. And you must make those decisions now, not later. The decision to be rich is made in consciousness long before it shows up in the world. You will see people differently. You will stop comparing yourself to others. You will stop measuring your value by what others possess. You will understand that all things are flowing to you according to your inner state. Envy disappears in the mind of one who knows they have already received their good. Impatience dissolves. There is only peace, only gratitude, only the quiet thrill of a destiny that has already unfolded within. As you continue in this way, persistently, faithfully, you will notice the world changing in response. Not overnight perhaps, but inevitably. The right phone call, the random meeting, the inspired idea, the promotion, the deal, the gift. Money will come, often from unexpected directions. But your eyes must remain fixed, not on the money, but on the state. For the state is the root. The money is merely fruit. Never chase money. That is the path of the unawakened. Money runs from those who seek it with desperation, but it runs toward those who already possess its feeling. When you become the source of wealth in consciousness, you will draw riches to you as naturally as the sun draws flowers to bloom. I tell you, your entire life will rearrange itself around your assumption. Friends may change, environments may shift, jobs may fall away, and better ones arise. Let it all happen. Do not cling to the old. You are not who you were. You have chosen a new identity. The millionaire who already is. Do not look back. Do not explain yourself. Do not wait for permission. Simply persist in the state, and the world will catch up. It is done to you as you believe. And belief is nothing more than a sustained assumption. If you can assume it and not waver, it will become flesh. It will move from the unseen to the seen, from the inner to the outer, from the imaginal to the material. This is not theory. This is law. And it works just as surely as gravity, just as reliably as sunrise. Act as if you already won millions, and act boldly. Dress the part, speak the part, live the part. If you cannot yet afford luxury, then embody luxury in spirit. There is a richness in the way you pour your tea, in the way you organize your space, in the way you speak with dignity and calm. Wealth begins in the subtle, and from the subtle it expands to the grand. You must no longer say, one day, you must say, now. For now is the only creative moment. I am is the name of God in you. And when you say, I am wealthy, you are not lying. You are calling forth that which already exists in potential, and bringing it into form. The millions you wish for are not outside of you. They are within you, waiting to be claimed. The reality in which you are already a millionaire is just as real as the one you're in now. The only difference is your focus, your feeling, your belief. Shift these, and the reality must shift with them. It may seem strange at first. You may feel like a fraud, but that is only the echo of old conditioning. Persist, ignore appearances. Let the feeling grow stronger each day. Feed it with imagination, with gratitude, with faith. Let every cell of your being accept the truth that it is already done. You are already the man who won. You are already the woman who has more than enough. Let go of the old story, the story of struggle, of waiting, of hoping. It served its purpose. Now step into a new narrative, The story of arrival, the story of fulfillment. The story of one who walked into their dream because they dared to assume it was already real. Let that be your identity. Let that be your assumption. Let that be your state. And the world will say of you, everything changed so quickly for them. But you will know it changed the moment you decided to act as if you already won millions. As you persist in this assumption, you will begin to notice synchronicities that seem too precise to be random. A stranger speaks a word that affirms your new identity. A forgotten opportunity reemerges. Money flows from channels you never even considered. But again, these are not the causes. These are the effects. The cause is always within. The outer world is simply a shadow play, a mirror reflecting your dominant inner state. There is no need to force or control the process. Your work is not to manipulate the world, but to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled so completely that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around your new vibration. Do not monitor the seed. Do not dig it up each day to see if it has sprouted. Water it with conviction. Nourish it with gratitude. And rest in the knowing that what you planted in imagination will surely blossom in reality. Your current reality may protest. It may scream, but look at your bills. Look at your balance. Look at your circumstances. And to all of that, you must smile and say, I already won. Not out of delusion, but out of truth. Because once you've assumed the state, everything outside of you must eventually submit to it. That is how this law works. Now here's the beauty of acting as if you already won millions. It does not require money to begin. It requires only imagination, and that you have in abundance. You can sit in your room and feel the luxury of freedom. You can walk down the street with the posture of wealth. You can make decisions with the calm of someone who trusts life, who trusts the law. And the more you do this, the more the inner world becomes the dominant force in your life. You become unmoved by appearances. You no longer react to circumstances. You create them. You begin to feel a holy detachment, a quiet power, a knowing that what you see now is not final, that even if you are currently in lack, you are not of lack. You are simply observing an echo. The true shift has already occurred within, and the outer world will soon reflect it. I cannot stress this enough. Do not underestimate the power of a sustained inner state. The world bends to it. People change their minds. Rules are rewritten. Paths are cleared. Money flows in. All because you dared to live in the end. You dared to believe without evidence. You dared to act not according to the facts but according to the truth of your desire already fulfilled. When you persist long enough, the state of wealth becomes natural. It no longer feels like something you're trying to believe. It becomes who you are. You forget that you ever lived another way. And at that point the manifestation must happen. Because the outer world cannot resist the pull of a fully embodied inner state. It must yield. It must respond. It must obey. So let us be clear. Acting as if you already won millions is not wishful thinking. It is the very foundation of manifestation. It is the law in motion. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the dream and the demonstration. It is how you become the author of your life, instead of a passive character in someone else's story. The only thing required is faith. Not in the external world, but in your own imagination. You must believe that what you imagine with feeling is more real than what your eyes can see. You must trust that the world you create within is more powerful than the world you inherited. And you must remain loyal to your vision, even when everything around you suggests the opposite. The moment you break that loyalty, the spell weakens. But when you persist, when you refuse to accept anything less than the reality you've imagined, then even the most stubborn facts must bend. The mountain must move. The impossible must become inevitable. You may be tempted to share your vision with others. Be wise. Not everyone will understand. Some will doubt you. Others will laugh. That is of no importance. They are not the ones creating your reality. You are. Guard your assumption as a sacred thing. Speak of it only when inspired. And even then speak as one who already is, not one who is hoping to become. Let every action you take arise from the consciousness of wealth. If you buy a coffee, do it with ease. If you pay a bill, do it with gratitude. If you invest in yourself, do it with confidence. Each act becomes a signal to your subconscious that wealth is your natural state, and your subconscious, being without sense of humor or doubt, will go to work constructing your world accordingly. You must no longer act from your current conditions. You must act from your chosen identity. You are not the man waiting to be rich. You are the man who already is. And the world is just catching up. The riches are not in the bank account. They are in the consciousness that gives rise to the bank account. And once you possess the state, the numbers must rise. The abundance must flow, because it has no choice. Let this be your daily practice. To wake and feel the millions already won. To walk and think as one who is already blessed beyond measure. To move through your day, not with striving but with serenity. Not with fear but with fullness. Not with want but with wealth. You are the operant power. You are the cause. You are the creative force animating all experience. And when you decide that you have already received, the universe aligns to reflect that decision. That is the secret. That is the key. That is the truth most overlooked. But you who hear these words, you are not among the many. You are among the few who dare to live from the end, who dare to see the invisible and make it visible, who dare to act as if until as if becomes as is it will, as if always becomes as is when you persist. That is not poetry. It is principle. That which you accept as true within must outpicture itself without. You are not here to wait. You are not here to wish. You are here to claim. And to claim in this world of imagination means only this: to feel it real. Do not concern yourself with effort. The man who assumes he already has millions does not strain. He does not hustle in desperation. He does not claw for opportunity. He moves in the natural rhythm of certainty. His steps are ordered not by external pressure, but by inner authority. This is the great reversal: the inner first, then the outer. Feel first, then receive. Assume first, then experience. People ask, should I visualize? Should I script? Should I affirm? I tell you, do whatever leads you into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The method does not matter. The state is everything. A man may sit still in silence and feel his fortune into form. Another may write it daily in a notebook until the emotion crystallizes. A woman may walk through the world with music in her ears and tears of gratitude in her eyes for what she knows is already hers. All are valid if they evoke the state. That state must become more real to you than the facts around you. Because what is a fact? It is only a past belief hardened into form. But form is not fixed. Reality is not rigid. It is clay in the hands of consciousness. You do not fight facts. You rise above them. You do not deny them. You outgrow them. The facts may say, you are broke. But your feeling says, I am rich. And your feeling is the true creator. You must learn to reverence your imagination. For in it God speaks. In it the word becomes flesh. All that you see began in imagination. The chair you sit on, the clothes you wear, the buildings, the inventions, the systems, all imagined before they appeared. Why then do you doubt the power of your own? You are not separate from that power. You are that power. When you say I am, you are declaring the very name of the Creator. So when you say I am rich, and you say it not as a wish but as a fact in imagination, then all creation bends to affirm it. Do not speak idle words. Speak as one with authority. Feel as one who commands reality. Not by force but by law. Each time you imagine from the end, you build the bridge. You shorten the gap. You dissolve the barriers between possibility and presence. And the more natural that state becomes, the faster the bridge forms. What once seemed miraculous becomes mundane. What once was a dream becomes your daily life. You will look back not in shock, but in gratitude. You will say, of course it came. How could it not? For you will see that you were never waiting for money. You were waiting to become the version of you that had it. Once you became that version in imagination, the money had no choice but to arrive. So you must walk now, talk now, think now as one who has already won. Let it be your secret joy. Let it be your inner sanctuary. Let the world think what it will. It does not matter. You are not manifesting for their approval. You are manifesting because it is your divine right to express the fullness of life. Feel the joy of generosity. Feel the freedom of having more than enough. Feel the love of blessing others, of creating, of expanding, of resting in the knowledge that you are supported in all ways. Let this feeling wrap around you like a fine robe. Let it color your thoughts. Let it soften your heart. Let it lift your spirit. And when moments come where doubt tries to creep in, when you feel tempted to measure your progress by what you see, return immediately to the state. Go back within. Shut the door.
and declare again, I have already won. I am already there. Let that be your gospel. Let that be your song. You will come to a point where the outer manifestation doesn't even surprise you. You will see that it was always yours, that the millions were never withheld. They were waiting for you to enter the state where they belonged. And once you lived in that state long enough, the world opened its hands. It must. It always must. For nothing can stand against the one who assumes and persists. When you persist in that assumption with unwavering confidence, with a quiet fire burning within you that says, this is who I am now, you awaken a momentum so powerful that it begins to move people, circumstances, and even time itself in your favor. You don't force it. You allow it. You don't chase it. You become it. The millions begin to gravitate toward you, as iron filings to a magnet, because you have finally tuned yourself to the frequency of the wealthy. This is not ambition in the worldly sense. It is alignment with your divine nature. You were never meant to beg for wealth. You were meant to radiate it. The rich man in consciousness walks with grace because he understands that the world responds to his inner command. He speaks and doors open. He assumes and the path clears. He does not ask, will it come? He knows it already has. He knows that what he imagines now, with feeling, will press itself into form in perfect order. So I urge you, do not delay. Do not wait another moment to claim the reality that is already yours in spirit. Begin this instant to walk through your home as though it were your dream estate. Sit in your room and feel as though you are aboard your private jet. Stand before your mirror and see not who you used to be, but who you have now chosen to become. You are the architect. You are the director. You are the one calling the next scene into being. Nothing has to change outside of you first. That is the illusion. That is the lie we've been taught, that we must earn, chase, or be lucky to receive. But life is not given to the lucky. It is given to the aware. And once you become aware that your assumption is creating your experience, then all the power returns to you. You stop looking for signs and start being the sign. You stop needing confirmation, because your inner confirmation is stronger than any evidence the world could offer. From this place you begin to live a different kind of life, a life of purpose, a life of flow, a life of abundance. Not just in money, but in love, in joy, in time, in peace. Because wealth is a state of being before it is ever a number. And when you occupy that state sincerely, faithfully, and joyfully, the numbers take care of themselves. You begin to give more freely, not because you're trying to get something in return, but because you know you already have more than enough. You begin to move without anxiety, not because everything is figured out, but because you trust that everything is unfolding for your highest good. You begin to think in terms of expansion, of growth, of limitless possibility. Not because you're faking confidence, but because you've touched the truth within. And the truth is this: you already are what you seek. You already hold the seed of the millions you desire. The only step left is to embody it, to feel it real, to assume the state, not for 10 minutes a day, not for a single visualization session, but as a way of life. When this becomes your way of life, you don't just manifest money. You manifest a new world. A world where your desires meet you at every corner. A world where your inner vision is reflected with breathtaking accuracy in the outer. A world where you no longer doubt the law, because you are the law in motion. You realize there is nothing special about manifesting money. It is just another form of consciousness expressed. Just as easily as you can imagine yourself wealthy, you can imagine yourself healed, loved, successful, joyful. All states are available to you. The only question is, which will you choose to dwell in? So let today be the day you choose wealth. Let today be the day you step into the version of yourself who has already won. Not in theory, not in vague hope, but in feeling, in belief, in being. And when the world asks what changed, you'll smile, because the answer will be simple. I began to act as if I already won millions. And so I did. So I leave you with this eternal truth. You need not wait for wealth to arrive. You need only assume it has. You are not separate from abundance. You are not cut off from prosperity. The millions you desire are not out there somewhere in the distance. They are here now, in the invisible, ready to take shape at the command of your consciousness. Act as if you already won millions. Walk in that knowing. Breathe in that certainty. Speak from that place. And let the world reflect the boldness of your assumption. Let it echo your inner plane with riches, opportunities, and circumstances beyond anything you've ever imagined. Do not ask when. Do not ask how. Simply dwell in the end. Feel it real. Live from the wish fulfilled. For the one who dares to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persists in that state without compromise will find that the universe has no choice but to bow, to bend, and to deliver. You are that one, and you have already won.